All right, so today's piece is Evryali by Xenakis. This is a solo piano piece from, I want to say 1973. Yeah. It starts quadruple forte without pedal. It looks a little bit simpler than the last piece we looked at, Mists. Let me just scroll through it a bit. Oh no, there's a lot of stuff on multiple staves. Yeah, sort of a over the top use of staves actually. I don't know where this ranks in terms of difficulty with other Xenakis pieces. If you look at this sort of monster ending here, we have like gradual pedal changes, right? And then like dynamic changes on every note. Some challenging things for sure. Let's see what I can find about this thing. I didn't do my research ahead of time or anything. Uh, okay, it is also based on arborescences. So this was something that came up in Mists, uh, which was like different proliferations of melodic lines. Now, Mists, I think it was a certain category of melodic treatment. Here, it seems to be the whole topic of the piece. It's his second major piano work after Herma, which and was written 10 years after that piece, dedicated to and composed for Marie-Francois Bucquet. She was a French pianist who lived from 1937 to 2018. I think that's a fairly long life. He was a specialist in 20th century music, also having pieces written for her by Busotti and Betsy Jolas. Uh, she was a piano professor at the Conservatoire de Paris from 1986 until her death. So 10 years after uh, being gifted this piece, she's recorded works by Bizet, Bartok, Stockhausen, and Stravinsky with the Philips label. And she won an Edison for one of her Schoenberg recordings. Okay. It's not particularly detailed bio, but there you go. Numerous passages are impossible to play as written, either because it's physically impossible to reach the notes, or because the written note is not available on most pianos. Um, Therefore, the performer has to create a reduction of the piece in order to make it playable. We got fixed rhythmic passages, stochastic clouds, polyphonic arborescences, which we mentioned earlier, monophonic waves, and silence. I guess silence is a big feature of it. It's one of those segmented pieces, so it's in 50 segments and it's only 11 minutes long. Kind of like a lot of Stockhouse, or yeah, like a lot of Stockhausen and also a lot of Xenakis's early work. Apparently, there's a lot of connections between its material and the work, orchestra work Sinaphi, which Xenakis composed 4 years earlier. Several passages from evryali were later reused in his chamber work Dikthos from 1979. So, with that background, I think we can get listening to this thing. Um, and I'll let you know my opinions on a first listen. Recording in the video description. If you're interested in this score, it's published by Edition Salabert. It was published just a year after it was first composed. And This is a French publisher that I believe also does a number of like spectral scores like Hugh Dufour, Gerard Grisey, Tristan Muraille, I think. And yeah, let's get into it. Okay, so this was an interesting listen. Rhythmically, it's very kind of choppy, and it's just got sort of this straight 16th thing going on the whole time. Um, Interesting variety of textures you get in the piece. Um, this performance is it's very commendable, but the experience of looking at the score while hearing it, it's a very clearly like unplayable music. Like to get all of these dynamics is not really reasonable. And I guess a lot of the things that characterize the piece are like brutally unidiomatic for the piano, just like repeated note stuff, like these multiple tremolos at the same time on single notes. I mean, in the span of a few seconds, it's not going to come out. I think Mists was a lot more compelling, um, just in terms of its rhythm and the use of like line writing and melody to sort of like etch out these things. This is more like a sound mask kind of thing that doesn't quite work because it's not an orchestra. It's a piano. Yeah, I think that's my take on evryali. And next will be I'm trying to not do anything super long tomorrow, but I might be kind of stuck. Okay, we have a couple of George Crumb pieces that we can look at. I think we'll look at his five pieces for piano, which is one I'm not so familiar with. And then after that, we'll get into some of his macrocosmos stuff. Um, I yeah, I I'll get there when I get there, I guess.